TU Delft, that's Technical University of Delft. It's one of the top universities in the world. It's only for technical studies. So I've been guiding some PhD students and masters, and then of course we write papers, research and teaching. So the only thing is that for my parents, so I thought I should not stay continuously outside India. So in the last 15 years, I started working part-time there, 70% of the time approximately. And then 30% I don't take the salary, and I used to spend time with my parents. I think I did it well, in a sense that 2 years back I lost my mother. So at least for last 13 years, I used to spend about 5 months in a year with my mother. And I think that's really cherishing time for me as well as by my mother. And this is Adumbara tree, which was planted by my mother. So she was an inspiration for me. And because of that, when I saw the this piece of ground, open space, about 7 years back, seven and a half years back, I thought we should do something. So around this, the rim of this field, boundary of the field, so I started planting. Two things. One is I want to die carbon neutral, at least, and then giving back to the society. So now I started planting for over the years more and more trees, and now there are almost like 110 trees which are above my height. A lot of termites, and there is a I think I read somewhere else, and there is one scientist who just does lots and lots of study on termites itself. So wherever you see termites, and that actually that soil is very good, number one. Number two, there is a lot of water below the earth.
Water source.
So in this area there is lots and lots of water sources, and now the idea is also that this open field plus the density of roots, now you could see that around the rim of this field, so there is so much of trees, so because of that you will have lots and lots of roots inside, and they make sure that the rainwater is sucked in. Very interesting. Of course, in Bangalore, you'll see that when it rains, it is really heavy, and some areas have been actually submerged about 15 days back or 3 weeks back. But here, just 1 hour after really heavy rains, just after 1 hour, you can come and then walk. So that means the soil actually absorbs a lot of water. So water seeps in very well here. It is just because of the trees. A little bit here and there. So if that is done, then it is really good. So next is so the idea is that they shoot here, no? They shoot. So the only thing is that it has to grow up to this level. Afterwards, the rate of growth is very fast. I'll show you the same tree again on that side. So it has grown very well, and because they had a shed here and things like that, so it was not properly protected. The same tree, and again within this shade, but it grows very well, and then it grows very fast also. So till around this height it takes very less time, and then afterwards this grows very well. So this is called mahogany, and very interesting thing that happened on the road there, that side of the field, just outside the field. So there was one tree, something similar, and it was almost like 15 feet high. Same one. It was growing very well, and somebody put some waste and other things near the root, and then they lit it. So there was big fire, and the whole tree got burnt. So I was literally crying, and actually I have recorded also. If you go to a Facebook page called Selfie with My Trees, so there is a Facebook page. So there I recorded that. I said, okay, we have lost this tree. So I took a picture and then I was mourning. But after 4 months, from the root inside, below the ground, so the root started going up. There was a shoot, and then it grew. And now instead of one stem, just one stem, one tree. So there are 3 of them. So they have now grown almost up to like 10 feet or 12 feet now, just outside this field. So, so that means it has got really got good strength to grow again. So in that sense, if you look at the Australian bushfire, and Californian bushfire and other things, I think these are the cycles. Of course, it's not nice to lose properties and then green cover, but this is, I think, is a cycle, and then most of those trees will come back, I think. So that's something that's really good about it. They have good amount of self-reliant and what do you call a good amount of inner strength, these trees, much more than humans, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, and then you could also see here this one. Yeah. So everyone told me that not to plant these plants. So now you see this; it has grown really well, even within the shade. Probably it will be a little bit slow, but it will grow very well. So even in these corners, so you could see that it's really it has come up very well. So the idea is to have as many trees as possible. So it's not the height of the tree that I'm looking at. What I'm looking at is something that you don't see. So what you see above the ground is what you enjoy and things like that. So you will be really looking at it, and then probably you'll get fruits and things like that. But for me, that's not important. Of course, it's important in a way to get good air. But the other part is also very important, the roots. So if you have more trees, to whatever level it can grow, the idea is that there will be good amount of roots, such that rainwater, that too in a city like Bangalore, where everywhere it is just concrete jungle. So we should be able to have more trees and more root beneath the ground, so that you can harvest as much rainwater as possible. I saw one article from Indian Institute of Science that we in Bangalore, if we harvest every drop of water, the rainwater that we get, then we will be getting almost like 39 TMC water. 39, whereas we don't require more than 17 or 18 TMC of water, I think, or maybe even if it is 20, 25. So we will be actually surplus. So the only thing is that we should not let this water get into the drain and then just go as a wastewater. So if all of us take a pledge and then somehow manage the streets, manage the water that is falling on the roof, so we should be able to get all the water getting into the ground, and then of course we can always use it. Or the lakes. So we have, I think, 89 lakes now, out of around 300 or 350 lakes in Bangalore. So at least we should be able to fill them up. So let us see. there are some others which have also come up very well. This tree is a jumbo tree, and again, as I said, this is mahogany. So you could see that the wood is solid. So, and then it grows really tall. So it's very nice to have this tree around. But that was not the only issue. It's for me, what looks good is not so important. Of course, it's also nice to have trees which are beautiful. This one looks very haphazard, but this is jumbo tree. Maybe in another 2 years or so, it will start producing fruits, and those fruits are very nice for most of the sparrows and many other birds. I don't know what is it called in English, but I think even in English we call it as jambu. In Kannada we say nerele. So that's something that I specifically got it planted here. So the other one is that here I will show you. Yeah, some people were actually plucking this fruit. It's not fruit, it is raw. So they make a nice vegetable with some masala. Somebody was plucking this. So you could see that this one is like a fig. This is the class of fig tree. So this tree is really solid. You could see that there is one big tree there on that side. It's near my house there. So that tree was planted about 10 years back. My mom had planted this. So it has grown up so well. And on that tree, during the lockdown, it was so nice to see that we had peacocks. So two of them had come to that tree. So this becomes very ripe, and even for humans, this is very good because it has got very good amount of vitamin A. So people normally don't eat this because normally what happens is there are some insects. You could see the insects here on top of it now. You see this? Yeah, so you could see that. So you see the insects here? Yeah, it's walking around, right? So these insects actually get into this fruit. So biologically speaking, this is not fruit. Actually, this is a flower. So the flower is inside. So that is the beauty of it. And then because of these insects going inside, so it's actually it helps pollination, and then seeds will form. And whenever a bird or something that eats, so this tree spreads because of birds eating this fruit. So the seeds are very small, like this size of this insect itself. You could see that. So the insect here, right? So the seeds are very small. Name of the seed? Huh? Name of the seed? Name. Okay, this tree is called Audumbara in Sanskrit, and in normal daily language, people call it as Atti. So that's the name of this tree. So this one has got lots and lots of fruits, and specifically we got them because we wanted to have birds coming back here. During the lockdown, I saw for the first time in this part of Bangalore, for the first time. So almost now 10 years now in this area, almost now 12 years even in the other street. So first time we got sparrows. So I always see that because I work in the Netherlands, so I always say that whenever I go around in Europe for meetings and things like that, so when I go to the city center, so if you are going for dinner or a cup of coffee or something like that, you will see that the sparrows are just around. So if any city, if you see sparrows there, so that means that city is livable. So I'm getting this these things. Maybe probably I will also have some of the other trees here. This one is castor seeds. So probably you have heard about castor oil. Not the company, but in India we use this to apply to the hair. So this one, but this grows like a weed. No other tree will grow. So that's why I'm trying to clean up as much as possible whenever I see it. At some point I felt it. If I can do something, just being here for about 4.5 months to 5 months in a year, so then anybody can else do it. So just imagine everyone in Bangalore, just everyone in Bangalore plants a tree in front of their house or anywhere that they find along the roads or whatever. We will have almost 10 million trees, right? So of course I saw this ground, and then the rim of the ground we have grown these things, and also on the road. So there are already inside the ground itself. If you can go around one round and then count it, so you will see 82 trees above my height, so almost like this height. There are 82 trees within the ground itself, and of course on the outside it's around another 35 trees are there. So on this just road, 7th cross, so approximately we have around 110 trees, even more than that, in this small almost like 1 or 1.5 acres space. So we should be able to do much better for the environment. This is jackfruit. This is a jackfruit tree. I don't know what kids will do later, but this is jackfruit. And for me, there are two very important things that I am really worried when I started taking care of this, is that these kids who play here, they don't care. They don't really care about what's happening around. Even if I'm cleaning the field, nobody will join. So that's one thing. The second thing is also that when they come, and then they will be waiting for ball, playing, or even sitting. So they will sit here, and then they will start pulling this down, and then at some point they will start plucking the shoot. So most of the trees I had problems getting it up is because of those miscreants. Number one. Number two, you will be very astonished if I say the second thing is you see there, those are the creepers, right? So I have cut it off near the root itself, but it keeps growing, and because of rains also it grows very fast. So that is something which actually hampers the growth of trees. I've seen that multiple times. This is very bad, these creepers. Anyway, yeah, here you could see that. So we got these things, but still you see that there are some of them. I have to get to the root of the... see that there is very good shade, and then also you see the nice trees here. So anyway, we'll rainwater harvesting. There is a pit about 10 feet. BBMP has done that. So though the water actually is sucked in very fast because of the trees and the roots, but they also have a pit here. So there is one pit, and then the other side there is one more. So rainwater also is getting harvested here very well. And the tree that I was talking about was burnt completely last time when I counted.
Okay.
So there are 82 trees, which are what I am counting is not all the things which have all the trees we have planted. No, they are all almost like 8 feet to 10 feet,
Okay.
at least 8 feet. So I've counted all those trees which are 8 feet tall. So you could see that there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is again mahogany. So it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you see this is a very small stretch, and we think that it's very small, but you could see that there are already 12 trees in this area itself, in this stretch itself. Yeah. And see the damage that we are making. It's plastic is everywhere. It's too much. And the money that we get, so somebody will pick that up. So we have much more buying capacity these days. So that's why people bring that. You could see near your legs itself. You see the plastic. Yeah. So it's going to cause a lot of issues. I found out some of the trees. For example, this one. This is a hongai tree. Hongai is a very good tree for. It's almost whole year, almost except 1 month in a year or 1.5 months. It will shed the leaves. But apart from that, this hongai tree is almost evergreen. And the breeze of hongai trees is always very well known. So they say always hongai nerudu is very, very nice. So we have many of the hongai trees there, and the whole set of those trees there, and they are all hongai. The ones below what we are growing is mahogany, but apart from that, so those big trees along that road, they are all hongai trees. So you could see that there is so much of good air and also a lot of shade. There is a saying, right? Hongai nerudu. There is something like that. This is again 7-year-old. So people come and then pluck these leaves. So that's where I have a lot of issues, and then I struggle with them because I don't drink. Beer, and they have broken the glasses. Yesterday I took 5 of them and then did it. Yes. This is the finest example of how people spoil the neem trees. So this neem tree was planted 2.5 years back. Okay. Now, very interestingly, when my mom died, so me and my brother, we both, after all the rituals, so we found that there was nothing here. So we thought, okay, we'll plant 2 trees. So we planted this one. And you see that somebody has broken this here. You see here, even someone has broken it. So it's already struggling to come up. And someone has broken it here, broken it there. This one here, right? So, and this one. It takes more and more. This tree itself grows very slow. and because of this it will take much more time. On the same day, at the same time, we planted another neem tree here, but that neem tree is not visible. You could see that, you could see the neem tree here. I'll show you. So there are two trees. So yeah, from that angle you see. So the neem tree has grown that level. Just because I have another tree here, people didn't notice. I specifically wanted people, because it beats common sense. Why somebody has to plant two trees almost at the same pit next to each other? So the idea is that this is they call it as, in Kannada they call it as Bale Daswala. So this gives a lot of flowers, I suppose, but because of this one, big leaves, this tree with big leaves, I don't know the English name of this tree, so the neem tree has grown up well. So what has happened is that these two trees came up together, and people didn't really notice it. I actually have planted another tree there. Exactly last 7 years we planted so many trees. In this area we planted almost like 700 trees. So in just in this field, around the boundary of the field and in this 7th cross road, so I have already got 110 trees which are above my height. So at least I'm 6 feet approximately, and at least it's there 8 feet tall. So this is work of 7 years, and that too I'm here only for 5 months. So the difficult things were also done by my family, and this is my house here. So it also helps having a lawyer in your house. So it also helps because being a government lawyer, so he is also able to help getting the trees from the forest department. Of course, the trees were supplied by the forest department, and once they come and then plant it, everything afterwards was taken by mostly me, and in my absence, my whole family, they supported. So my brothers, 2 brothers, and my parents, and my sister-in-laws, and my wife, even the small kids, so they go and then shout at all these miscreants who are cutting the branches of the trees. So so it's what I can say, it's 7 years, but I'm feeling much more satisfied these days, and also lockdown helped us. So
ಹೊಸ ವಿಡಿಯೋಗಳಿಗಾಗಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಬೆಲ್ ಬಟನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ.